Sometimes you know you're not supposed to be moving, but you're pushing yourself because you're thinking, I should not be resting, I should not be taking a break. If I take a break, what is going to happen to my life? Time is going, the year is going. So you tend to move even when your internal being knows that it's not time for you to move. Wait. Nature has a way of telling you that it's time for you to move. When you're able to listen to yourself, when you're able to just sit with your discomforts and be okay with the discomfort, nature will direct you to actually push the baby out. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a minute since I posted here, but I am back. Shamelessly, I'm walking back to YouTube. I've not posted for quite a while, and I want to start this video by trying to talk about why I have not posted for quite a while, okay? So the first reason why I took a break from YouTube, when I started social media, I'll be honest, my intentions were mixed, right? So part of me wanted to express myself. I wanted to express myself through sharing my own life, my journey, things that I know, okay? So you hear that there's probably money on social media, okay? You hear people who have really done really well on YouTube, on TikTok, on social media, okay? So I think I was also looking for how else can I create another source of income. So social media has changed people's life. That's a fact. There's so much positive on social media, especially YouTube. We can learn so much on YouTube. But on the same breath, when you are a creator on YouTube, it can be quite exhausting to come up with a script, to shoot a video, to edit the video, to post the video. Can really be exhausting and draining. So when you post consistently for months and you're not seeing any engagement, or you're not seeing growth in terms of subscribers, or in terms of engagement, or in terms of just, you know, growing, you feel like you can be demoralized. I started feeling like I'm putting so much work, but I'm not seeing any traction, okay? Because when I first started YouTube, my assumption was there's no way you can stay a year without growth. Like, at some point you have to grow, okay? So when you post on YouTube for 1 year and some months, and you're still not seeing growth, it can really pull you back. So I stopped posting because I wanted to gather my thoughts. I wanted to just sit with myself and understand, is it that my strategy of posting is not it's not making people get engaged? Or what is my purpose? What am I putting out there? Is it something that I'm passionate about? Is it something that just because I want to get views? Okay, so it was a very introspective time for me to just step away and see, how do I come back on YouTube? Something else that made me take a step back was because I realized as I was posting, I was also going through my own personal life. Like, life just happens, and so many things, you can go through so many things. So I felt like I was growing or outgrowing some things. So I was not where I was, but I had not gotten to where I wanted. So I was in a season of in between. This season, where you feel like I can't share what I used to know, because I feel like I have outgrown that, but I also don't know what is it that I need to share about. Like this new other season, or new person that I'm becoming, I've not yet ripened, okay? So I'm in between the incubation. So it was a very difficult time for me to post anything, because I'm feeling like I'm not even sure that the same ideas, the same things, the way I used to see life is the same thing that I'm seeing right now. So I can't continue posting that. So I am becoming someone else, but I have not yet gotten there. So I told myself, give yourself a break. And I know most people go through this season. Let me give you an example. Like, when you especially want to quit your job, so you know you have outgrown your employer, you have outgrown your where you work, you have outgrown so many things in that organization, but you still don't know where you're going. So this in between is a very confusing stage, where you don't know if you should quit immediately. Do you give yourself time? What do you do? Okay, so something that I learned on my in-between season, and probably I want to share with someone, is that it's okay to take a break and take a breather when you don't understand. If you quit your job, for example, and you stay home and you've not even started, you don't know if you want to start a business or you want to get employed, that's also an in-between season. It can be quite loud. So you're like, do I start this business? Do I get into employment? Did I make a mistake? What should I be doing? So in most cases, the in-between season can be very sad. You feel like, and it can really weigh you down because you're not sure of the way forward. So in my in-between season of letting go of what I've always known, trying to question a lot of things, trying to question things that I've known that probably, or beliefs that I've hold that are not necessarily my own beliefs, but taught beliefs, okay, or taught way of doing things, like you've been taught to do those things. So it's not necessarily who you are, but because you grew up knowing those things, so you become that thing. But you see, at some point you have to share that and become your own person, okay? So I said, let me take a break, let me take a breather, understand what I want for myself, because for me to be able to share authentically, and for me to be able to impact someone's life, it has to come from a place of me knowing what I want. Okay, I don't know if it makes sense. Not necessarily being 100% sure, but you know some things that you know for yourself, that this is something that I don't want, and this is something that I want. Okay, probably later you might outgrow also that space, but that is the main reason why taking a break in whatever you're doing is important. When you're going through the in-between season, it's okay to stay in that discomfort situation, because it's very discomfort. You feel very discomfort, like I should be doing, I should be moving, especially if you've been conditioned to perform, conditioned to do things because people are doing, because people are going to work, because people are starting business, because people are getting married, because people are having kids. So you're conditioned to actually be always doing things. So when you sit still with yourself, it seems as if you're not doing anything, and people can actually look at like, what's happening to her. You start questioning, are you lazy? Because you've been taught to always be on the go, okay? So I had to accept or to stay in the discomfort in between, that the area of discomfort of letting go of the performance and really like sitting in that situation until it's time for me to move. I don't know. So you see, sometimes you know you're not supposed to be moving, but you're pushing yourself because you're thinking, I should not be resting, I should not be taking a break. If I take a break, what is going to happen to my life? Time is going, the year is going. So you tend to move even when your internal being knows that it's not time for you to move. I hope I'm making sense. I don't know. It gets to a point where when you allow yourself to sit in the discomfort, but to be okay in the discomfort, what happens in most cases, you get out of that situation without having to push yourself to get out, right? Let's say, let me probably use an example as a mother. And you know, when you're in labor, when you're pushing your child out, there's a time where you cannot push the child out until the pain comes. I don't know if it makes sense. So you can, if you push your child before the contraction, you can really damage yourself, or you can do harm to your child, right? So the nurses or the doctors will tell you, wait until the contraction comes so that you can push the baby out. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So when you're in the season of the discomfort, you want to push the baby out, but you know you should not be pushing the baby out. So you have to sit in that discomfort until the contraction comes so that you're able to push your baby out. So whatever that baby looks like for you, you have to really allow yourself to feel right, okay, to marinate in that discomfort, to feel like you want to rush things, to feel like you want to open that business as soon as possible, to move from that work as soon as possible. But this is what I'm gonna say. Wait. Nature has a way of telling you that it's time for you to move. When you're able to listen to yourself, when you're able to just sit with your discomforts and be okay with the discomfort, nature will direct you to actually push the baby out. Probably another reason why I actually took a break was because when you're starting social media, you want quick success. You want to grow, you want to get brand deals, you want to do all these things. But something I've also probably noticed for myself, when you're starting out on social media, because your main goal is to grow and to gain subscribers and to get brand deals, you might end up oversharing because you just want to grow. Okay, so for me, it was a step back to just say, Julia, you have to create boundaries around social media. You have to really be intentional, that it doesn't matter. You have to start being intentional even before you grow, because growth will come, success will come. But if you don't set the boundaries when you're still a small creator, you might lose yourself. So you end up growing, you end up gaining subscribers, but because you started initially by not understanding your boundaries, you get to a point where you cannot undo. I have seen also most creators, what they do, they initially started by oversharing. They overshare, and then they become so big, and then at some point now they want to pull back from oversharing. What that happens is that you end up losing subscribers, or you end up losing the community you have built, because the people who are attracted to you enjoy the oversharing. They enjoyed that space where you were saying things unfiltered, right? I don't know, does it make sense? So for me to create my own personal boundaries of how much do I want to share, to what extent, and if I share, am I okay that if that thing ever comes back to bite me, to sit with that, that feeling of, when you share this, it's gonna be on social media, your what is called digital footprint for a very long time. So are you okay to stay in that situation? Are you okay when you grow and you're still you cringe at what you said initially, okay? So sometimes it's okay to just start building to set up your boundaries as early as you can, so that as you grow, I don't care how big I become, I don't care how much success comes to me, this is the boundaries, this is the farthest I can share, this is what I'm only willing to share with my audience, so that I do not become I don't lie just to pull people in, and then when they get hooked, then I drop doing what I was doing. So they're like, we came here because we want to know what you do. So why am I back? Am I back because I have completely figured myself out? I don't think so. But I am at a point where I feel I'm okay. I feel like, yeah, it's okay for me to be back. Okay, so sometimes something I've also realized, sometimes in the process of you becoming a different person, and for you to shade the person you used to be, and for these other new human beings, there are so many things that you will not understand. Let me tell you, the shading stage, the shading or the becoming or trying to figure yourself out, you end up losing so much. You end up losing because now people can't you can't relate to so many people. People cannot relate to you. There are so many changes that can happen in your life when you're going through the transition of becoming a different person, finding yourself. In that journey, you are going to find yourself very lonely. You will in most cases walk alone. Okay, let me tell you what I've realized. The in-between is the only place where you're going to grow, because if you allow yourself to stay in the discomfort and to shift your mindset from feeling like you're stagnant, from feeling like nothing is moving, and just do something different, this is how you feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, but just remove your focus from that and start looking at other things. Probably this is the right time for me to have time with my kids, understand what my kids want, or this is a time for me to really read, understand something that I've never read. Because guys, if you've been employed since you're 18, there's a high possibility that you've never taken a break from life. You've always been either working, and even on your day off, something is happening. So sometimes the pause of life, the pause of the in-between of moving from this side to this side, it's so good, because you get to rebrand yourself. You get to sit and realize some things that you never, maybe I never got time to really take time for myself and understand. Maybe I don't even like what I was doing initially. Maybe there's so many things that you can learn you can learn when you're in the in-between, that season of feeling lost, that is just okay. Like, it's okay for you to be there. It's okay for you, before you get that new job, for you to just, feel lost. It's okay to feel lost, because, and let me tell you guys, when you understand that everybody has gone through that stage, and everybody, there's no like a roadmap, there's no roadmap to the next step. Like, you don't have we don't have a blueprint that I can leave you and tell you, no, when you're in that season. All I can say is that every person's journey is different. The only thing I'm so sure of is that don't rush your season of in between. Do not rush wanting to see results. So now you move yourself from that season because you want to see quick results, or you want to be seen doing. When you realize that you've been conditioned to perform, there's a high possibility that you have never sat down with yourself. You actually don't even know who you are, or you don't know the person the person you want to be. You've never gotten the time to do that. Okay, so now I understand. Not that I completely am sure now, like I'm sure I know what I'm doing. No, I don't think as human beings we ever get to a place where we are completely sure, we are completely certain that this next step is the right step. But sometimes you feel like, I'm okay to take this step, whatever this step looks like. You understand? It's not very clear as to where you're going completely, but you should make these steps. Okay, so if this is your first time, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.